Hello there. Let's check. Anything else to do? We do. All right, well, let's get that taken care of, and then we'll continue with the story. We have so much content here. There's so much upgrading here to go. Whatever. Gonna take on Tall Mountain here. Where's that guy that was helping me earlier? Could definitely use some more help. Fortunate I'm doing like no damage to this thing.
And that's it. I'm not actually going to be able to do that one. Oh well, shrug. There is, however, something over here I can do. So let's do that one instead. Much more likely to be able to do that. Dang, there's a lot of stuff I can do. Okay. Take care of this geometry. Oh, good. Using 125. Still not how I'm trying to fight. Still not how I'm trying to fight. I'm not really in this one. By the time I get there, I'll only be able to do like a little bit of damage, but I'm still gonna try. Do what I can and all that. All right, back to Alamegan Quarter, shall we? Let's try this again. First things first, let's make this our home point so we don't have to keep doing this every time. Alright, make our way over there and see if there's any headway we can make over there whatsoever. The Ruiner. I mean, he did ruin us pretty good. Yeah, we're not going to be able to fight this one. So, in lieu of actually winning that fight, let's actually continue the story, shall we? Ooh. Come on. Alamigan Quarter Number 2. With an area situated in the south of Alamigo, under Garlean rules assigned to the use of An, the lowliest subject of the Empire not afforded citizenship. During that time it was also known as the Pregarine Quarter, a reference to the derogatory name which the Imperial occupiers called Alamigan natives. Hey, Ariane, how you doing? My friends, much and more have I heard of your travels in our absence. Heartened am I to see you all hale and whole. As are we to see you safely return from your mission, Ariane. I trust Thancred did you feel welcome. Yeah, he did, right? Oh, well, if it isn't often known as Merry Band. Arnveld, whatever are you doing here? When we spoke at Link Pearl, you told me you'd be away on a mission. And who's to say this isn't part of it? But enough about that. It's good to see you looking so similar. I thought you'd grown a bit taller after the last year in the world, another world, but apparently not. Well, I'm sorry to have disappointed you. While my soul may be a year older, my body is hardly aged. As you are well aware. May I remind you that as we Elizan are known to be late bloomers, especially in terms of our height, mark my words, the day will come when even a great auroch such as yourself will crane your neck to meet my eye. It was not until my 20th summer that I myself outgrew my boyish proportions, though mean breeder towered over me nonetheless. That brings out the best in Offino, doesn't he? They both seem so at ease in each other's company. It is most endearing. That's the right voice. I agree. So what exactly brings you here? Oh, for Dola mostly. We need to go over a few things before we set out. Set out? Wait, does this mean have something to do with the towers? Yeah, what gave you that impression? Actually, tell me later. You've got a meeting to go to. I'll see you afterwards, all right? If Fadula is going with him, that must mean... My apologies, as I have rightly pointed out. We have a meeting to attend. Let us be about it. Sure. Here am I in my dwarven gear.
Ere we begin, I would like to offer my gratitude to Masters Thancred and Urianger. 'Tis no small feat to infiltrate the Imperial capital and live to tell the tale, much less in times of civil war. Thanks to them, we may plot our course in full knowledge of how the winds blow in Garlemald.
Full glad are we to have been of service. But verily, such dangers as we did encounter pale into insignificance next to those faced by our comrades. An Ascian, armed with the might of Bahamut, bent on bringing about the final days.
Theatrix. He sought only to make a show of the power at the Teleforoi's disposal. But since then we have seen no sign of this Fandaniel or his worm. And while we've done what we can to bolster our defenses, there's no telling where he might strike next.
Whenever and wherever it may be, we must use the intervening time to learn more of our enemy. 'Twas with this in mind that we dispatched scouts to investigate the towers.
Our advance party took longer than expected to return. And when they did, they tried to kill us.
That's a problem.
Luckily, I'd seen that sort of thing before, and we were able to restrain them before they did any harm. Then it was just a matter of letting the Porksies do their work.
Are you saying they were tempered?
Once they'd come back to their senses, they told us everything they could. It seems that just as they were getting close to the tower, they heard an ear-splitting roar. And that was the last thing they remembered. But what worries me most is what they were saying right before they attacked. Glory be to Garlemald.
The Tempered have heretofore ever been thralls to primal entities. Yet these hapless souls were compelled to accept a nation as the object of their devotion. This calleth into question all that we know of the condition.
Indeed.
Would that the unsettling news ended there. Alas, there is more. Following the earlier reports of missing Amalja, we have learnt that other beast tribes have suffered similar losses. And we now have reason to believe that the abductions are connected to the appearance of the towers.
Been sacrificed to build the towers,
Our
perhaps?
scouts sighted black-garbed figures leading shackled Ixal in the direction of the tower in Dravania. The Temple Knights were able to intercept them before they could reach their destination, liberating the Ixal and apprehending their captors, each of whom was found to be equipped with Garlean arms and armor.
So the Empire is the common thread.
Right.
With the support of Xenos, it seems likely that Fandaniel has rallied a faction of the splintered Garlean army to the banner of the Telophoroi.
Lord Hien reached the same conclusion when I shared our findings with Doma. The plan had been to march on Garlemald from the east and west in order to force a peace treaty. But the situation has changed. Dealing with the threat of the towers must come first.
Indeed.
Given the nature of the enemy and the proven risk of tempering, I could think of few suitable candidates to aid in this task. But I am confident in my choice.
What?
She has the false echo. She has a real echo, she has a false echo.
Resistant to primal influence as they are,
Yep.
they can investigate the towers without fear of being turned.
Indeed.
We are glad to put our gifts to use, Commander.
Gifted or not, going behind enemy lines remains a perilous undertaking. But we must know more if we're to strike back at our foe. I'm counting on you.
If it would give us the upper hand, I'd do it 100 times over. We won't let you down.
That concludes the briefing. You two, make ready and join your escort.
Are you certain about this, Arenvald?
I am. Come on, let's talk outside.
Now that it's out in the open, I don't have to keep it under my proverbial hat anymore.
So you know, I've already gone through all the formalities at the Rising Stones. Made sure to inform Jamolva and Vmar at Ralga's Reach as well.
Arenvold, I admire your enthusiasm, but this is far more dangerous than anything you have done before.
I know the risks. And I also know what's in store if we don't stop Fandaniel from carrying out his plan. With this power of mine, I can make a difference. If I stood idly by, I would regret it for the rest of my life.
Understandable. It's a chance
And
to be
you,
a hero.
Fredola? Is this what you want?
What are you asking me for? It's not like I have any say in the matter.
Don't pretend. We both know Commander Eldin gave you a chance to refuse. And you didn't.
So the Empire's finished, is it? But that's what they're all saying. That the great and glorious Garlemald slit its own throat. And now, from out of its twitching carcass crawls the Telophoroi with bloody Xenos at its head! I fought for Garlemald. Killed for Garlemald. What was I part of? I need to know. Whatever it is, I need to know.
Very well. If your hearts are set on this, I shall not stand in your way.
Looks like the sun is trying to set.
If you've finished with your touching display of camaraderie, I have a question. Which tower are you planning to investigate, exactly?
Well, the one in Girabani is said to be tightly guarded. It's patrol after patrol out there, apparently. We'd be spotted before we got anywhere near it. Which is why we've set our sights on the one in Paglthan instead. There shouldn't be anything like as many Imperials to worry about down there.
Even so, I doubt the local Amalja will look kindly on it if they catch you sneaking around in their territory.
Fordola and I had a chance to learn the lie of the land in our previous forays there. We might still find trouble, but at least we won't lose our way.
I have a map if you need it. I always use the map heavily.
Well, we'd best not keep them waiting any longer.
Mayhap when all of this is over, we could take another trip to Loxeld. I would have you know I've become a rather capable swimmer since our last visit.
Ha!
I think the sun
I'll
just
believe
set.
that when I see it. Though, to be fair, getting into deep water does seem to be a scion's lot in life. Take care, eh? It means a lot, you know. You coming with me.
I'll still owe you for saving my skin, don't I? Can't return the favour if I'm not there.
I dare say you'll get your chance before long. That Fandaniel sounds like a tricky customer. Too much for the likes of me, anyway. But we both know I'd just be another soldier if it weren't for my gift. And I need to be a damn sight more than that given what's coming. I realise I can't hold a candle to a hero like the Warrior of Light, or Alphino, for that matter. He might look like he's 12, but he's seen more action than most people see in a lifetime. No, the fact is I'm nothing like them, and maybe I never will be. But I'll be damned if I don't try.
Yes, you will be.
They're counting on me. On us. So let's give it our all.
He does not want for conviction, that much is certain. So let us have faith in him. Him and Fordola both. While they see to the towers, I would attend to another task. Chasing down this lunar Bahamut.
Oh, bloody thing. Can you hear me? It's Tataru. Oh, I'm happy to say we've managed to find Estinian.
Oh, well done.
And I'm sorry to say he went running off again the moment we told him about Bahamut. But he did mutter something about heading to Ishgard, so if you're quick, you might still be able to catch him.
Estinian's on the way to Ishgard. Hopefully we can catch him there.
Even if we set out this instant, he may already have left by the time we arrive. Have her send the Bonanza to Ishgard. It may prove useful should we need to give chase.
Indeed. Send the Bonanza to Ishgard.
Gladly. I'll see to it as soon as Kryl and I get back to the Rising Stones. Good luck.
While you go off on your dragoon hunt, Urianger and I will return to headquarters. We have much to tell the others.
All right.
I wish you every success in your search for our elusive friend. May we all meet again ere long.
Into the breach. So Estinian was bound for Ishgard. Whatever it is that brings him home, we must be hoping to keep him there long enough for us to find him. Come, there's no time to lose. Indeed. So that is the Endwalker stuff. Still not there yet. I expect to be there by the end of today, though. Stutter. Before I leave, anything else for me to do here? Doesn't look it. Let's go, Arfino. All present? Good. Let us split up and search for Estinian. Since we're relatively new to this place, Graha and I will look around the open spaces, the squares and markets and whatnot. You and Peter can delve into the nooks and crannies. Very well. Let us reconvene at the airship landing later, with or without Estinian. Good luck. I think I shall begin at the Sky Steel manufacturers, so perhaps you could try their congregation. Lucia may well have heard news from our friend's return. Stutter. Good evening to you, Warrior of Light. Lord Amric sent word that you would be attending the meeting at El Amigo, so I gather you have not come in search of him. To what then do I owe the pleasure of your visit? We're looking for Estinian. I see. No, we are not aware Sir Estinian had returned to Ishgard, but as I expect you to remember, he's one to come and go as he pleases. Mayhap he had come seeking an audience with Lord Amric, only to find him absent. In any case, I'm afraid I cannot help you. Perhaps one of your companions has fared better. Perhaps. All right. I'll go with that, let's see.
No sign of him. Not that I've ever met him before, but the way Alphino goes on about him, I'm fairly sure I could pick him out in a crowd.
It's reasonable.
Speaking of which, it does seem awfully quiet. If the erstwhile Azure Dragoon had returned to Ishgard, would it not be a source of general excitement?
You'd think. Is that him?
First the Scion's Coinkeeper, and now you. I'm beginning to think these meetings are more than mere coincidence.
Oh yes, we're looking for you. We need your help.
Not that I'm complaining. It's been too long.
Too long?
You look an ilm taller and twice as rugged. It suits you, Alphino.
How unfortunate.
Quieter, though. Have you been giving him lessons on how to be the strong, silent type?
I am not Alphino! If the two of you are such firm friends, perhaps you should remember what he looks like. And what do you mean, rugged?
Sorry, it just look a lot more masculine. Look, it's not his fault you have more facial hair.
Had my brother mentioned what an oaf you are, I'd never have bothered looking for you in the first place.
Estinian Wormblood, the Azure Dragoon. He who fought and felled the dread worm Nidhogg at the Warrior of Light's side. To think the day would come when I should see this living legend with my own eyes.
Would someone mind explaining what is going on?
Oh, this guy's your fan.
Is
Your
everything
biggest
all right? I thought I heard Alize shouting.
Well, it doesn't take much to get her to start doing that.
Estinian! It's been too long.
You missed the heartfelt greeting he gave you earlier.
No, it's quite understandable. That was hardly the first time we've been confused for one another. Nor, I suspect, will it be the last.
She should wear heavier makeup.
Well, I, for one, will not be making that mistake again.
You see, you gotta look at their ponytail. He has a blue ribbon and she has a red ribbon. Otherwise, they're completely indiscernible.
What I will say, for the second time today, is that you've grown. Inside and out. I can tell.
One can't remain a spoiled little lordling forever, you know.
At least someone's having a good time.
Poor Alice.
You know, when we were growing up, Alphino would never befriend other boys because he couldn't stand the thought of not being in charge. But maybe that's changed. He seems just as happy around Estinian as he does Arenvald.
I think he's learned how to talk with people rather than at them.
I wouldn't be so sure. He still loves nothing better than the sound of his own voice.
No rest for the righteous, eh? Speaking of which, I was just on my way to borrow an airship to take me to Azis La.
Azis La? How could I forget? The dragon with whom Bahamut shared the deepest of bonds.
Right.
Aye, Tiamat, his mate. Even now she remains imprisoned on Azis La, though her remorse binds her faster than any shackle.
We really should have let her out, huh?
I see. As the one who first summoned Bahamut, you believe she may be able to shine some light on his latest incarnation? Might I suggest that we make the journey to Azizlar together? I'm not sure if Tataru mentioned this, but we Scions have an airship of our own now.
I see no reason why not. Assuming your sister can bear the thought of sharing a deck with me.
Maybe.
Be my guest. But confuse me with Alphino again, and I'll throw you overboard. Ugh! I don't know who he thinks he is, but he's nothing like Alphino painted him to be.
You really should wear a dress if you don't want people to confuse you with your brother.
I will admit, he's not exactly as I imagined him either. Based on what I had read of the man, I think I was expecting someone a little less blunt.
It has been quite some time since I last set foot in Azizlar, but I understand the three of you are here rather more recently. I don't suppose you chanced to meet with Tiamat during your visit? Alas, not. We had no cause to set foot here in the Delta Quadrant. But I have studied the relevant records, which is not to say I wouldn't appreciate a first-hand account of your dealings with her. Well then, Pieter's the person to ask. As far as I know, he's the only one of us who's ever met Tiamat face-to-face. Even now, she remains a prisoner of the Allegan Empire. Ever since the end of the war with Mysidia, yes. She's been held captive for so long. I, too, have met with Tiamat. After the Dragonsong War came to a close, I came here to speak with her, a worm who had fought her own war against men in another age. I wish I knew if she yet harbored thoughts of vengeance and asked as much. She said no. My hatred for your kind was extinguished long ago. But the guilt she feels at resurrecting Behemoth burns on undimmed. It torments her, even now. I see. Then your original reason for coming here was out of concern that Tiamat had been forced to summon Bahamut. Nidhogg is a part of me. I feel his emotions as my own. And I know that he would not allow his sister to be made a tool of evil. In his absence, it falls upon me to watch over her. Tiamat awaits. This way. Here are its antithesis.
It's plain she knows naught of recent events. Perhaps you should enlighten her.
Oh boy, I get to ban someone else. Favorite part of the job.
I've seen it with my own eyes. Captives of a lost empire, neither alive nor dead, existing only to preserve Bahamut's corporeal form.
Yep, that's the one. Yeah, I just have a feeling. Yeah, the Asians suck, I agree.
Your children's pain means nothing to them. They laugh at your kind suffering. But tears will not right this wrong, nor will lamentation see the perpetrators punished. Behavior befitting a great worm. We came here to ask mighty Tiamat of the First Brood, consort of Bahamut, mother of the dragons of Mericidia, what she intends to do about the crimes committed against her children.
You too were exposed to his influence. That you are yet in possession of your own will is testament to the indomitable strength of your soul. But were you to meet with Bahamut again, you fear you might succumb.
So, Gratia, could you free her?
On the matter of Bahamut's influence, at least, I believe we can be of some assistance. If you're afraid of being enthralled, don't be. We have a cure. And while we've never tried it on one such as you, its basic principles are universal.
There is no future for those bound to the past. That you committed a terrible sin, I do not dispute. But if you feel remorse, you may yet make amends. We offer you that chance. Take it, or you will forever remain a prisoner, not of these cruel shackles, but of your own guilt.
So now we just got to relieve for shackles, yep. Ratia, do you want to do the honors? I confess my heart was in my throat when Nestinius thought to berate her, but it appears to have had the desired effect. It would seem she still has some pride after all. Let's see if she's as good as her word. While Porxies have been shown to be effective at curing the temper, Tiamat must be considered a special case. She is far, far larger, and immeasurably more powerful than any subject treated thus far. Were it to remove her restraints only to have the process failed, it would be hard-pressed to contain her. Then, before we go on ahead, we should learn as much as we can about the exact nature of her condition. Do you suppose we can find that information here? Why, yes, we can indeed. Oh, the Allegans kept detailed records on all of their notable captives. I know exactly where to look. We shall leave that to you, then. In the meantime, the rest of us can turn our thoughts to the removal of these shackles. I know Alfino and Pieter here well enough, but not you. Are you certain you're ready to see this through? Oh, rest assured, Sir Stydian. I'm both ready and willing to give my all for the sake of this star. That is not my only reason for wanting to set Tiamat free. I do not claim to know all of her sorrows. I, too, once found myself a prisoner of despair. And I will understand how hard it can be to dare to dream of escape. I took the encouragement of braver souls than I am to make the first step toward a brighter future. And now I will help Tiamat do the same. I gather you're not as strong as you look. I gather you're not as young as you look. After our work here is done, will you trade tales of our pot of Tataru's famous tea? And be indebted to her for the leaves and hot water? I think not. Oh, I see. Returning swiftly to the task at hand, then. I believe the nodes governing Tiamat's restraints are located in the sector known as the flagship. Ah, yes. You're familiar with it. The Etherochemical Research Facility in particular. Oh, no wish to take this. The spirit vessel containing a small amount of my blood. Which you just happen to be carrying along with you. Well, I suppose that could seem rather odd. To explain, Rambrose, Oriange, and I researched the use of spirit vessels in the transference not only of memories, but of the traits of certain blood vibes. The nodes have granted access to restricted functions, having identified me as one of the royal blood. And armed with that spirit vessel, I posit anyone do the same for you, even in the absence of, well, the rest of me. It seemed worth a try, at least. Agreed. We'll take good care of it. To the flagship, then. All right. Let's go. Let us split up and search the flagship for a node that contains Tiamat's restraints. Should you find a likely candidate, don't be tempted to make any adjustments. It would not do to accidentally release some manner of experimental monstrosity, unless Tiamat herself in her current state. Our objective at this stage is to simply identify the relevant node and nodes. Once we have learned what we can, we should reconvene and compare notes prior to proceeding. Sure. Sounds like a plan. From Paris, Nold. Data link with Delta Quadrant broken. Possible cause, intruder interference. Advised deployment of automated combat units. Proceed. Check this clamorous note. Bloop, bloop. Warning. Scheduled Dragon restraint maintenance due in negative 2020 years. Failure to verify system integrity may result in unscheduled specimen release. Friction between metallic components detected. Temperature increasing to critical levels. Please replace damaged parts or retreat to a safe distance. I'm afraid it's thin. I have little to show for our efforts. Did you find anything? Yes, a chirruping node, which simultaneously warned me about neglecting dragon restraints. Spontaneously, you say? Well, it does sound promising. Almost suspiciously so, in fact, but then you were in possession of the spirit vessel. I guess that's indeed the node of which Tia spoke. And it was chirruping, you say? Oh, very well, let us take a closer look. Hey there, clamoring node. Bloop. Do you wish to operate the dragon restraint mechanisms? Oh, yes. Bloop, bloop. You do not have the requisite access privileges. Operation of the dragon restraint mechanisms can only be undertaken by the chief technologist and members of the royal family. Others with a vessel full of royal blood? Perhaps. Well, let's try this. New user detected. Commencing biometric authentication. Bloop. Authentication complete. User identified as member of the royal family. Please, state your name. Piotr Krolensk. Welcome, Piotr Krolensk. You may operate the dragon restraint mechanisms when ready. Boop. Error. Unable to disengage restraints of the specimen Tiamat. A system update is required. A system update? What do you suppose it's asking of us? I could hazard a guess. Maybe it wants a better version? That's more than I can say. Confounded bloody thing. User agitation detected. Initiating guidance program. Bloop. In order to operate the restraint mechanism, I require access to the central control system. However, I am unable to establish a link to said system due to obsolescence of my own software. This issue can be resolved by applying a system update using the corresponding terminal located within the flagship. So this thing can release the restraints or not? It can, but only once it has received the requisite system update, as far as I can tell. Until which time it will float there spewing nonsense. User dissatisfaction detected. Initiating placation protocols. Boop. I am here to help. Rest assured that I will be on hand to guide you through every step of the system update process. Oh, that's gratifying. I dare say we'll feel better with guidance than without it. Yeah, I have no idea how any of this works. Restrainment node stands poised to lend a hand, figuratively speaking. Bloop. Guiding user to terminal. This way, please. That's a suspicious tower right there. Maybe these towers are elegant in design. Something below this. Maybe down here? Maybe on this other side. Don't look at me. It's a task for you and Alfredo. Is this it? Let's see. According to the terminal, the central control system is presently employing software version 56.135. Dare I ask which version you're employing? Why, system version 42.002, of course. Doop, doop. Warning. Errors detected in the data management system. Estimated time to require for update. 5 years, 1 day. That's rather longer than we were hoping. Aren't there any other options? For instance, using this terminal to operate Tiamat's restraints instead. The proposal method is indeed an option. Please be warned, however, that the procedure may be changed as a result of the system update, and my instructions may no longer be accurate. I can't imagine it would have changed all that much. As long as we pay attention, due attention to any discrepancies, I dare say we should be able to muddle our way through. Don't bother trying to explain any of this to me. Just tell me that we've made some progress. Oh, I would say so, yes. It does, however, require that I remain here to operate the terminal. I shall inform you via link file once I'm ready to release the shackles. It might be best if you left the spirit vessel with me. I may have a use for it. Rest assured, I'll be able to... certain to return it to Gratia once this is over. There you go. Just a little more work and Tiamat will be free. Before we go further, there's something I would know. When Tiamat and her kin fought against the Allegan Empire, both sides were but dancing to the tune of the Ascians. It was the same with Ishgard, where they stoked the fires of conflict between man and dragon from the shadows. All the Ascians touched turned to ash, and thus have you made it your mission to fight them. But there have been times when you tried to reach out to them instead, to find some common ground. And so I must ask, what do you intend to do with Fandaniel? Will you try and reach out to him too? And I know I want to understand him. His current motives make no frickin' sense. But did he not tell you he was beyond reason? If he wishes to die, I say we oblige him. But perhaps that's the difference between you and me. You see the good in people, even if it be about the faintest glimmer. I only hope you do not come to rue your benevolence. Do you think us unwise for viewing the world thus? How far from it. It's ever been your way, as I learned when we journeyed together with Iceheart. Yet the fact remains that there are some who view compassion as a weakness, to be exploited. There may come a time when you extend the hand of friendship only to wish you had dealt the killing blow. So save your mercy for those who deserve it. I'll take your request under advisement. Well, we should be getting back to our task. If Orfino has things in hand here, I suggest we rejoin the others. All right, let's go. So I apparently totally misread the way that the awards were set up. Shrug. That could be worse. We should still be into Endwalker next stream, I think. Tomorrow. Hopefully we can get to the second set of credits today. Estinian told me all is well, but nothing more. Honestly, it's like getting blood out of a stone with him. I take it from Orfino's absence, he's needed elsewhere. Well, if that's the case, he's got to operate the system update, whatever that is. Well, all that sounds rather frustrating, but you got there in the end. While you're off talking to nodes, Graha and I were learning as much as we could from Tiamat's condition. Our readings confirm her Pharaoh balance leads strongly toward the Umbral, as was the case with the kobolds. Therefore, all other things being equal, the treatment should work. The difficulty lies in the sheer quantity of ether with which we must contend. Multiple applications of the treatment will inevitably be required for it to reverse the effects of the tempering completely. Meaning I'll need all the ether I can get. Thank you in advance. Sure. Although this endeavor will ask much of us, we do have one reason to be optimistic, namely that Tiamat shows no signs of fanatical devotion, suggesting a milder case of tempering than that suffered by the kobolds. Tiamat saw Bahamut as an equal rather than a god. Might that have made a difference? Well, now that you mention it, very well might. She would not have believed it necessary to defer to his will. But enough talk. It's time to put the theories to the proof. Tell Alfred not to disengage the restraints. Ethereal dampeners. I'm counting on you, Angelo. Such warmth. The frost that shroudeth my soul doth begin to thaw. But what are these? Visions of days long forgotten, of war with the man of Aleg. Wherefore did such baleful memories return to me now? Could it be the process of restoring her daughter's pre-tempered state as awakening ancient memories? Or could the opposite be true? If so, by helping her recall her past, we may be able to help speed her recovery. Peter, she trusts you. Speak to her. Ask her to tell you of times past. Sure. Only a Bahamut in the essence. Ah, Bahamut, my beloved. Would that the peace we found in Mercadia could have lasted for eternity. But alas, it was not to be. The Ascians saw to that. In all creation, I know of none more wicked. It was at their behest that the men of Aleg first came unto Mercadia, unto our home. The tale began when Bahamut and I left our father's side. We took wing in search of a place to make our eyrie. Beyond the southern ocean, we discovered the lush and fertile land. It would come to be known as Mercadia by the children of men, though many years were to pass before they crossed the seas. Upon our arrival, we were welcomed by the peaceful people of the forest, kin to the trees. Surrounded by nature's bounty, Bahamut and I found a place to raise our young. Fascinating. This correlates with the writings of the Charlemagne scholar Rerusha. She posited that man first settled on the southern continent toward the end of the Second Astral Era. Correctly, it would appear. If only she were with us to hear the tale of Tiamat herself. Or from Tiamat herself. Again, Angela. When first the children of man arrived on our shores, no foot did they set in those places over which we held dominion. Such was the fear of dragonkind, and as they kept their distance, so did we let them be. Yet as the days went by, ship after ship arrived upon the horizon, bearing ever more of their brethren, who divided the vast land amongst themselves. For a time they knew peace and prosperity, but as their numbers grew, the smaller their share came to seem, and soon they began to covet the territory of their fellows. Ere long, man fought man, blood was answered with blood, and none could see an end to the strife, until one day they came to us. Recognizing our wisdom, they entreated us to intercede in their conflicts. Bahamut agreed, and with him presiding over the affairs of men, the land knew peace once more. A great arbiter. Alas, those golden days of harmony too were fated to end. For the men of Alag slew my beloved, and I in my rage and sorrow heeded the envenomed words of the Ascians. The rest thou knowest too well.
But your tale doesn't have to end there. When you are free, we'll rid the world of the Ascians together, and you and your beloved will have justice. Ugh.
Fair sentiments, but you're almost spent. I'll keep watch from above. If the treatment fails, run.
Thanks for the vote of confidence. I swear, when this is over... Keep going, Alisay. The magic's working. Oh, and I knew this wasn't going to be easy. No patient could have prepared me for treating a great worm. But once we're close, I can feel it. And, well, I've only got a few more drops of Aether left to give. With yours and Graha's, this will work. Then I believe I speak for both of us when I say you may take as much as you require. I'm careful, I may hold you to that. All right, here I go.
All right, Angelo.
No! I'm almost there! This is it, Angelo!
Es ließ an, mich es
Did it work?
We won't know for certain until the shackles are removed.
Go ahead and release the shackles.
Task in Sandal Ankin in way.
Many have been subjected to the Allagan's dark arts, their flesh irrevocably altered. For such tortured souls, I fear there can be no salvation.
Ankin. Slosk an all folkel an. Slosk saith son in an. Aften. Mon ud. One an. Lis
When that time comes, you won't be alone. We'll stand by you.
She's in Henrik.
Alphino's ready. It's time.
All right, let's get her done.
Do it. And let's hope the treatment worked as it should.
Bahamut an Ul Jas Ul Asa Vesk
By the gods!
Urianger, your timing could not be better. Understood, we're on our way. It's Bahamut. He's been sighted over Pagalthan.
Okay.
He flies for the largest Amalta settlement in the region, at the head of a vast host, including dragons.
Did you hear all that, Alphino? You'd best rejoin your comrades. I'll make my own way.
As he does.
Our enemy awaits. Shall we?
Pretty cool. I'm sure you're desperate to join Estinian and Tiamat in battle. 'Twould be wiser to gather full strength of the Scions first. The foe we face demands no less. I've already sent word to the others we're to rendezvous in Uldar at the Hall of Flames. But let's collect Alphino and be on our way. Mm-hmm. And then I need to take a quick potty break, and then I think we'll go ahead and do this, because I believe this is going to be our... This is going to be our final battle, maybe? Maybe. Who knows? I've been thinking it's going to be about the final battle for most of the day. Be right back. full banquet. Now, I know some of you could do with the rest, but I'm sorry to say the Telefrolo have other plans. Paglathen is already under siege. Happily, the Immortal Flames arrived just in time to join the defensive effort, with Marshal Terrapin at their head. Well now, given the failure of the peace negotiations, I was uncertain how the Sultanate would respond. 'Tis good to hear that Uldal has not abandoned the Amaja. Abandon me? Them? Abandon them? Did we not profess them to be our friends? Your Grace.
Marshal Tarpon has made provisions for such an exigency, and ready to depart at a moment's notice. All that was required was the agreement of the Syndicate, each of whom voted in favor of intervention. Nor is Oda alone in its resolve. The other Alliance nations have likewise dispatched their troops to Paglathen. Yet even with our combined strength, we shall be sorely tested. For we face not only the might of the Imperial Legion, but of Lunar Bahamut and his draconic horde besides. Tiamat's children. Fight as we may, victory is by no means assured. Not only for all the omens are grim, but not all of the omens are grim. Our forces report that despite their proximity to Lunar Bahamut, none of the Amaja has showed any signs of tempering.
Strange. What primal would turn down a chance to claim new thralls? Unless it's incapable of doing so. Primals are not wont to serve a master, Ascian or otherwise. It may well be that Lunar Bahamut differs in some fundamental manner from those we've previously encountered. If that were true, anyone could fight him, and Pieta and others like him wouldn't have to shoulder the burden alone.
Be that as it may, Lunar Bahamut remains an incalculably powerful foe, whom our soldiers will struggle with at best through mere force of arms. With the aid of the Science, however, I believe that they may fare better, assuming, that is, that you're ready to take the field. An airship awaits to bear you to the front. Pray set forth as soon as you're able.
All right.
I meanwhile shall continue to coordinate our forces. Till next we meet, may the 12 bless you and keep you.
It was kind of her to speak with us personally. You may be certain she has no shortage of other responsibilities. Well, I for one am inclined to do as her Grace requests, lest we forget. Are involved in Fordola, are in Paglath on reconnaissance. The sooner we save the day, the better our chances. Indeed. To the airship, then. Let's go. Before we do that, let's head to Crystarium and try to get some better gear. Stark disbelief. I love how creative people's names are. piety. And get more piety. Spell speed. And yet more spell speed. Direct hit rate. And more direct hit rate. And I think critical hit would probably be the next. The In It journey is ahead because I suspect that there's something here for us. That's here instead. Yeah, Alfred. Theater, so the rumors of the Mac of being at the right place at the right time are true. You see, we've just completed our preparations for another expedition into the empty. Sure. Miss Reen and Miss Gaia agree it's high time you all went to see how things are coming along. Though I must say, being at their beck and call night and day does test my patience on occasion. Well, well, fancy meeting you here. Hey there. Pieter. Hey there. We were just getting ready for another ride in the Sky Clipper. Care to join us? Oh yeah, let's do it. There's one other thing I should mention before you depart. Now that the situation in Yulmore has settled down somewhat, my associates have made some headway in investigating your past, Miss Gaia. Oh, is that so? I thought that's all you wanted. Oh, so did I. I quite like the way the things are now. Digging around in my past might, I don't know, spoil it somehow. Besides, uncovering the truth behind the voices in my head and my strange powers is bound to be more interesting than whatever life it was I had in Yulmore. I understand. We'll find the answers together, just like we do everything else. How are the coffee biscuits? Oh, they were delicious, as always. But I hear they're quite fattening, so we usually just buy 1.5 each. And then you always get another one anyway. Well, yes, well, we break that one in half too, so it's fine. We might as well just get one each to begin with. Honestly, Ren, I sometimes wonder if you've got biscuits for brains. Possibly. But I must say, my time in the Crystarium has been rather enjoyable. We each had enough chance to make a necklace for the ice crystal we found. In case you were wondering, I haven't been neglecting my training. I wouldn't want my skills to get rusty just because Thancred's not around. I'm ready for whatever lies ahead. Orange would be pleased to hear you had your head on those fusty old tomes. I've even done a bit of studying myself. After all, it's up to us to take care of the empty now. Sounds great. I look forward to seeing how things have changed since our last visit. Come on, let's head over to the derrick. Sure. Quest accepted. Alright. That which restores some small amount of stability to Alma Wrong. I guess next is that couple, huh? So it should be just on the other side of that tower. We're making some headway. This time those giant ant things have a good sense to leave us alone on our way here. Seems they've learned their lesson. Let's get to the empty. And I need to head back and talk to her because that won't count unless I talk to her first. Because that's why. I don't suppose you fancy taking the helm this time. Yes, I just drove myself there, and you guys weren't coming along. Wait, I'll pilot this time. Oh, I didn't realize you knew how. While you were off training, I was practicing with another sky slipper where they have at the Crystarium. Really? Well, that's fantastic. Hardly. You've been pulling more than your own weight, and I just wanted to make sure I could do what I can to preserve, to contribute more. So you can sit back and relax and leave it to me. All right, fine. Whatever makes you happy. Well, Gaia certainly kept us quiet. She's full of surprises, isn't she? None of you look so apprehensive, you know. Let's get going, shall we? Yeah, let's do it. It's so strange suddenly seeing you at the controls. Why didn't you tell me you'd been practicing? I thought I'd surprise you, that's all. Don't consider me surprised. All this time I thought you were only good at smashing things with your hammer. Bring that up again, you can walk the rest of the way. I'd best behave. I wouldn't want to get stranded in the empty and miss the festival. Festival? Well, I suppose this is the first you've heard of it. We hadn't exactly been keeping it secret, but it's still in the planning stages. You see, the return of the night sky has brought lots of changes. And while everyone is glad, the reality is that it's been quite stressful having to adapt to a new way of life. Seeing how hard our elders had worked to keep the Crystarium running, youths like myself came up with the idea of hosting an event as a way of expressing our appreciation. And once we return from the empty, I'll be helping as one of our organizers. I offered to help, but I think they have everything well in hand. Wouldn't be so sure about that, but I'll try my best to make it a success. If everything goes well, all you'll need to do is turn up and enjoy yourself. How about you, Gaia? Would you like to help with the festival? What's that? I haven't been listening. My leg is cramping up a bit. Piloting this thing must have made me more tense than I'd realized. Well, then let one of us take over. No, I'll be fine. Well, as long as you're sure. If you feel like switching places, just say the word. No. How can this be? I think that explains it. Back to earth crystal colors. Light. Does that mean we're still too much of it in the empty? I'm no expert, but this might be the result of losing control when you restored the ice element. Even though I tried to use darkness to hold back the light spilling forth, it seems it wasn't enough. We're right back to where we started.
This is all my fault. No, Rin, you mustn't blame yourself. You've returned to me. Restore the darkness while you still can. A familiar voice and inescapable fate. The promise of salvation at the precipice of ruin. In the remains of a long past, I would find my truth. Restore darkness? What did you say, Gaia? Restore the darkness to a world flooded by light. Oh, that's it. We thought we'd restored balance to the 6 elements, but perhaps they were still too strongly aligned with the light. If that's the case, maybe we can set things right by using darkness. Using the darkness? Are you serious? Yes. But hold on. That might actually work. Gaia, that's a brilliant idea. I wouldn't go that far. Just remembered what I learned during our adventures, that's all. But this does mean we'll need you to call in your services again. If that's all right with you? Oh yeah, sure, let's go. We've come this far together. We'll see our mission to the end. To Eden's core. Alright, to Eden's core. And to restore the darkness. Alright, let's get started. But recall, were there any primals aligned with darkness? I can't seem to recall any. Wait, you mean there isn't one? Not that I can remember. Dacian's God Zodiac may be suitable, but we need something that Theater's actually encountered. Preferably defeated. Does it have to be a primal for it to work? If it's just a lot of darkness that we need, perhaps there's other ways to get it. You may be right. What we ultimately need is a state of highly charged darkness. It shouldn't matter what form it takes. Does anything come to mind for Theater? Well, there's the Ascians. I know a few Void Sins would fit that bill. Void Sins have lots of darkness. Creatures are unleashed when under the fairies' control. If we were able to summon one powerful enough, that just might be enough. I mean, it's a possibility, right? The Cloud of Darkness. I can't imagine how powerful that must have been. Oh yeah, should be fun. I'd say we found the perfect candidate. But where to find a suitable place, one where darkness is strong? It won't be easy to find in a world flooded by light. Well, we've got the Warrior of Darkness and the Oracle of Darkness right here. It seems like a good enough spot to me. What about the light-aligned Aether that's all around us? Well, that's where you come in. You can suppress the light while I draw out the darkness. By combining our powers, we should be able to make it work wherever we are. Combining our powers. Guess between the two of us, there's nothing we can achieve. Oh, don't be afraid, Gaia. I'm not afraid. I'm very concerned this will all go horribly wrong, which is the same thing, I suppose. Anyway, it's certainly not easy coming up with these plans by ourselves. That's true, but when this is over, we can reward ourselves with all sorts of delicious treats at the festival. Festival? What do you mean? We spoke of it on the way here, remember? I asked you if you wanted to take part?
I was busy piloting the Sky Slipper. I probably wasn't paying attention. Oh, well, don't worry. We can talk about that later. Right now we got a job to do. All right. I'll drop the ambient aether, and I'll shift its alignment to darkness. Now, Peter, focus your thoughts. Cloud of darkness. I believe I fought one of those in the Void. Memories of the cloud of darkness enshroud your mind. Eden's Promise Umbra now accessible. Okay. I'm wrong. Let's go to the Ostel Imperative. We can get the Dwarven thing done while we're waiting. First off, anything we can work on to improve that one right there. All right, let's do it. The wait should be less than 5 minutes for Eden's Promise Umbra. Especially since I'm a healer. care of this forlorn maiden. There we go. Okay, that is no longer synced. Got the bicolor gemstones. All right. Let's go. Light party time. Aiden's promise.
I'm drawing out the darkness. Get ready.
Nicely low, Dolby. Abyssal abhorrence, the cloud of darkness. Oh, hello there.
It worked, Gaia! We've done it!
The heart on her forehead. Because we got Final Fantasy VIII battle music going. Guess everything in our shadow. Darkness follows all, even the ground beneath your feet. Could ever reach us. Maybe just stay moving? Is it that simple? Surely it can't be that simple. How did I die? That's the thing I don't get. I don't understand how you die in this section. Only move in purple. Okay. Really? I think it's about time for a limit break. Good game all. All right, success. I don't need any of this. You can have it all. Well, that went surprisingly well. Of course, we have Peter to thank for slaying that ghastly creature. You were fantastic, Gaia. Anyone would think you were an old hand at this. You weren't so bad yourself. We make quite the team, don't we? We certainly do. I don't know about you two, but I'm itching to see our hard work has paid off. Let's head back. Spell sweep time. Let's roll. The plants are just as lifeless as they were before. Maybe the light's influence is still too strong? What in the world? A fleeting hues and endless warmth, a gentle light washes over me. A glimmer of hope once lost. It certainly appears to be balanced between all of them. He took the scales away from the light, I'm sure of it. But something is wrong. Very wrong. For 100 years, I've waited for this moment. I knew it. You've been hiding inside Eden all this time. A new ASEAN? An ASEAN? I am Mitron, servant of Zodiac. A voice that whispered to me all of my life. Indeed, and thanks to you, I am free from my prison of light. Does that mean Eden was used to seal away an ASEAN? Wait, that is Eden, an ASEAN transformed into a Sin Eater. I've heard enough about ASEANs to know they're nothing but trouble. I never imagined that one of them was behind all of this. I did. I thought restoring the darkness was my idea. It was your plan from the very beginning. It was. All it took was the slightest suggestion. The rest was entirely your own doing. My freedom is so close I can almost taste it. Finally my soul may journey beyond the flesh, to which I am yet bound. I knew you would come for me, Gaia. Don't flatter yourself. You've caused me nothing but pain. If I've helped you in any way, it was not intentional. Even now, your memories elude you. Hearken to me, Gaia, and remember. In an age past, the world you know as the 13th was flooded by darkness. Like ripples in water, the repercussions were felt in the other shards, none more so than here in the first. It became perilously imbalanced and susceptible to the influence of light. Were light to consume the first as darkness did the 13th, it would likewise become a lifeless void, lost to our cause. We could not allow this mistake to be repeated. It was our duty to safeguard this world from the self-same fate. After a time, Emmett Selch conceived of a plan to trigger a rejoining, utilizing the very light we had labored to keep in check, and tasked us with bringing the plan to fruition. But at the last we were thwarted by Ardbert and his companions. Though our resolve was strong, theirs was stronger still. And as we fell, so too was the light unleashed. For us, however, death is not the end. Though our bodies may perish, our souls live on, withdrawing but temporarily into the rift. Until you can find a new body to possess. I, too, would have been reborn, but ere my soul could leave its corporeal form, Ardbert struck me with a blade of purest light, and that light enveloped my body, twisting it beyond recognition. Eden, the first Sin-Eater. My soul felt such agony as I had never known, and then I knew no more. In my insensate, instinctive state, influenced by Ardbert's fervent desire to banish darkness, I unleashed the light burdened within me, and it spread as an all-consuming wave to every corner of the world. The flood of light. So that's how Sin-Eaters came to be. All would have been lost had not the one called Minfilia appeared. Halting the light's inexorable advance, she saved what little still remained of the world. In the process, she also restored me a sliver of consciousness, though I remained trapped in my altered form. Motionless, I was capable only of a feeble whispering. Emmett Selch. Couldn't he have saved you? Perhaps he could have, if such had been his wish. Far easier, however, was simply find another piece of my fractured soul to replace me. From his perspective, there is no need to intervene and potentially disturb the balance of ether. And so, here I remained. And so you failed. He left you here to rot. Some friend he turned out to be. Thus abandoned, I called out for what seemed like an eternity to the only soul who could have saved me. You, Gaia. All this time you were calling to me for help. Yes, but you had forgotten me, forgotten our duty. The vestiges of your true power remained. You could not wield it at will. Time went by, and eventually change came. The light began to subside, and the dark of night returned. Gradually, my voice grew stronger until I was able to exert my will over you. You wanted me to free your soul from Eden, which is why you had me attack it. Another plan that ended in failure, thanks to Pieter. Indeed. Thankfully, your subsequent attempts to restore this barren land allowed Eden to absorb more and more aether, aligned closer to darkness, gradually eroding the cage of light that held me. Owing to your most recent efforts, my mind was wholly my own once more, and I was able to project my image beyond those confines. Then all this time we've been helping to free an Ascian? That's a fine tale, but why should I care about any of it? What are you to me? Come with me to Eden's core. There, all should become clear. Wait. I just realized something. If Eden isn't absorbing all that rebalanced aether, that must be why we've struggled to restore life to the empty. I suppose we can think about that later, though. More importantly, it seems I've lost control over Eden. Most likely because of the Ascian. Orianger specifically warned us about not listening to the fairy's honeyed words, so we'd better think this through before we go rushing in. Indeed. If only he and Thancred were here now. What are you talking about? I'm sorry, Gaia. I shouldn't be so quick to lose heart. What? No, that's not what I meant. Who are Orianger and Thancred? The two guys we sent back to the source? Wait, I know those people, I'm sure of it. Why can't I remember them? I thought something was strange when I mentioned the festival on board Eden. It's as though you had no recollection of our earlier conversation. This was most likely connected to Mitrin. Damn it all. What more is that fiend going to take from me? To tell the truth, the thing that frightens me the most is that you might forget about us. That's a distinct possibility. That won't happen. For every memory I lose, we'll make 2 more together. And if I need to know something, I can just ask you. Why not start by telling me about Orianger and Thancred? To be honest, my nerves are all a jitter, so I need something to settle me down before we confront Mitrin. All right. They were 2 good friends of ours. Orianger is probably the most intelligent person I know. He spends a lot of time reading, but he also says that you can't learn everything from books, and encouraged me to go out and see the world for myself. Sounds sensible to me. Much better to experience things firsthand to read about someone else's. Like those coffee biscuits. No book could ever describe how good they taste. Is there anything else you can tell me about him, Pieter? He can walk on water until he can't. It's pretty impressive until it isn't. So he walks on water instead of swimming. That would certainly save you from getting wet. I should have asked him to teach me how. Well, it's something he never quite mastered himself, and he often ended up getting wet anyway. In fact, the whole thing is probably more trouble than it's worth. As for Thancred, he's the one who freed me from Yulmore. At first I thought of him as my knight in shining armor, but really he was much more than that. He traveled all over Novrant, and he helped me become the person that I am today. He even gave me my name. He was also an expert in infiltration. He can sneak into anywhere, and usually back out again, without any problems. That would explain how he was able to sneak into Yulmore and rescue the damsel in distress, just like in the songs. I'm hardly a damsel in distress. Well, I suppose I was back then, but Thancred taught me how to fight and survive. Actually, while we're on the subject, that gunblade over there belonged to Thancred. As far as mementos go, it's a bit on the cumbersome side, but it reminds me of our adventures together. Even though there's little chance I'll ever see him again, it still feels like he's here with me. Keeping your memories close. You know what? I should keep a diary. Even if I forget something, at least I'll have something to look back on. That's a brilliant idea. Since we're going to be making lots of new memories together, maybe I could write in it too. As long as you improve your handwriting before you go scrawling all over it. I'd like your entries to be at least vaguely legible, if you don't mind. Of course, your ladyship. But before that, we've got an Ascian to deal with. Let's get this over with. Yeah. Like the Eden's Core, I suppose. We came as you asked, so start talking. Why settle for mere words when I can offer you something far greater? Eden will now afford you a glimpse of the past. More than a glimpse, in fact. It'll be as real as any of the foes you yourselves have conjured forth. Conjured forth? Wait, you don't mean to perform a summoning, do you? I do. I shall recreate the battle of 100 years past, which pitted Ardbert and his fellow warriors of light against their nemesis, the Shadow Keeper. Just as MX recreated the final days of Amaroth. Is that so? It seems much and more has occurred during my absence. No doubt he employed creation magics to breathe life into his recollections of the past. And what do you hope to achieve with this history lesson of yours? You shall see, and you shall remember. Now your very soul will revisit that fateful day 100 years ago. Kai, you can't trust Mitron. If you do, you'll end up being manipulated again. Rin. You're right. My days of being controlled by this demon are over. I have a new life now, and I won't let anyone take that away from me. Indeed. My will is mine own. You have no hold over me. This is all you're doing, you accursed minions of light. I should be the one at her side. Not you, or anyone else. I will take her beyond the reach of your poisonous influence and keep her safe. What have you done with Gaia? Nothing. Nothing yet. But soon I will restore her to her true self, and you will keep me to do so. You'll help me to do so by conquering the adversary I present before you. I knew it was risky trusting an Ascian, but we played right into Mitron's hands. We'll do whatever it takes to save Gaia. Agreed. There's no telling what kind of danger she's in, but whatever it is, I know she's giving her all. Even though we're apart, we'll fight as one. Together, we'll bring an end to Mitron's wicked schemes. Looks like Mitron's grip on Eden is loosened somewhat, perhaps to allow me to send you into the battlefield. Once you get there, don't let your guard down. While this may be a reenactment of a moment in history, the threat you face is very real. Whatever happens, you must make it through this. Sky is counting on us. Of course. Eden's Promise Litany, now accessible. Duty Finder's been updated with a new regular duty. Alright. Potty time, I'll be right back. Well, we'll get what we can done while we wait. This does push the beginning of Endwalker to tomorrow, but I'm perfectly fine with that. I'd much rather that we get this all taken care of, you know, before hitting Endwalker if we can. All the side stuff and what have you. destroyed the obedience of the Shadowkeeper for a powder and disposed the truth and claw. Now free from that fact, because little remains of the elf who once made such an agreement. I meant to switch to a different job before I did that. That's fine. Should have been something I did with the Red Mage. But, you know, we're getting some experience with the Scholar, and that's fine.
I sent a trader out to purchase cannon parts, and he's taking his sweet time getting back. Surely he didn't get lost following the road. I bet my beard he's stuck haggling with a merchant. You stuck your fair share of bargains, I expect. Would you mind wandering down to Southern? Our beleaguered buyer might need help seating the wheels. Making these tanks is one thing, but getting folk to actually use them is another. Any merchant worth his salt will be wary of some unknown, untested artisan. So we've launched a campaign to spread the name of Watsonville far and wide. The only problem is, I'm worried that our chosen promoter is not quite ready for the world beyond Tomrath. His schedule should put him in Fort Job at the moment. I'd appreciate it if you could lend him a bit of support. Do you know the most important part of test-firing cannons is? Having wagon loads of destructible targets. If you're not blowing things into tiny pieces, you're not really test-firing. We've been cobbling a few dummies together, whenever we get a spare moment. But there never seems to be enough, so here's my proposal. We'll pay you to provide us with a supplemental supply. Have a word with Shigat, and he'll load you up with whatever scrap materials you need. Alright, what's your cap? You're here to help make more targets. Well, thank White's beard for that. I swear, they're about to start in on the L-casts. Take this, lad. Should be enough to make three decent-sized wooden dummies. Run us of automaton is more if you need it. As soon as they're ready, I want you to hurl those targets over to the bombardier at the stay. You have no idea how much I appreciate your cooperation. Riga was worried, was he? Well, he should have given me a fatter sack of coin. This merchant wouldn't part with the ways no matter how much I plead for a cheaper price. I know, maybe you can craft something pretty from the stock I have on me. Some manner of bespoke household fitting, like to catch a Mord's beady eye. Don't be shy about asking for more materials when you come up short. I'll be here, just waiting to see this bloke's reaction when you offer to trade him your latest masterpiece.
Bespoke barter item. Spoke barter item. There you go.
You have to pay the difference for the dwarf. Fine. Corner barter, it's all the same to me.
There's a bespoke barter item.
Yes, agreed. Parts are yours. Take them. Take them.
I knew it. You're a handy sort to have around, Peter. Thank you. If you're headed back to the anvil, please let Regent know I'm on my way to the cannon parts. To take the cannon parts. You know, whatever. You know what I mean. Just tell him the thing. Now we're looking at 9 minutes. It was under 5 minutes whenever I signed up. Seems to be quite a bit longer now. Well, it's for taking care of this stuff, right? It needs to get done. Look at this, Peter. I managed to gather me a good-sized crowd. We need to grab folks' attention. A good old lollihop works just as well here as they do back at home. Now that everyone's watching, though, I feel a bit silly dancing alone. It might help to hear a few words of encouragement. Oh, yes. I'm sure I can go through with this. Oh, you're a really good dancer. Psych! Aye, let's get the fire going again. Right. Give me some room. This performance worthy courtesy of Watt's Anvil. We forge even better than we dance. Aha! Huzzah! Thanks, Peter. I think I'm over my stage fright now. You can let Regis know that I'll be letting everyone here know that, you know, we exist and everything. I'll let him know you're doing your frickin' job. Got it. He'll be more than a little surprised. Lally ho! You're the first supply of targets I ordered. Yep, here you go. Oh, I'll get this new firing range set up straight away. Keep 'em coming, lad. Haggling's all sorted then. That's great news. We might find workarounds for some of the materials, but we need the gemstones. Nothing else comes close to their aether-expending properties. I hate to say it, but even a dwarf would be hard-pressed to improve upon the crystal wheel's design. The Lothraid lady and her students really do know how to build a cannon. Welcome back. How fares the campaign? Well, not as bad as you'd think. Lollihop. What a fantastic idea. Traditionally, we'd use it to warm up a cold morning, but it seems to be just as effective at warming up a crowd. Maybe I'll round up a few fellows and join in the next performance. A troop of dancing dwarves ought to turn a few heads. Good work, Peter. This should tide us over for at least a little while. At first, we were using automata as targets. It was a bugger of a job putting them back together after a direct hit. Then we had Schlatt screaming about the waste of perfectly good resources and such. No, to properly test cannon fire, you need a properly made dummy, and I reckon you're just the artisan to make them. Well, cool. Glad I could help. Get it golden mended. Oh my goodness, everything needs mending around here. Let's take a look at red mage and see what else can get done here. Not that important. Let's take a look at Retika Greatwood and Tofano. Close on the Qatari, I can feel it. Also, I checked the actual stores. We're up to 15 minutes. 17, actually. 15-minute average. Especially when it was 5 before. We have 2 healers and 2 tanks. Sorry, 2 DPS. How many are tanks?
Workers have been experiencing all manners of difficulties of late. Worst amongst them are the cave-ins, which lead to cracked skulls and blocked tunnels. While we're still working on a solution to the former, we at least have a plan on the latter. Explosives. Now, I'll spare you the details, but to make our destructive dealing devices, we'll need a smattering of mugwort. Any you can provide will be greatly appreciated. I must say the workers are doing a tremendous job of excavating all those relics. So I can't help but notice some of them are beginning to flag in various degrees. What they really need is motivation. Luckily, I have a cunning plan. Udur Madl has already agreed to assist me, so pray, speak with him to learn what it entails. Greetings, good sir. Our excavation proceeds apace, and just recently our workers unearthed a tablet inscribed with an ancient song. Oh, don't look so bewildered. Music has ever been a beloved pastime of the Qatari. As a matter of fact, this relic contains one of our great epics, immortalized in a captivating melody. I concede this culturally significant piece, if performed once again, that it may live on in the hearts of our children and their children's children, and thus return to our rich tapestry of history. That is, sir, where you come in. I require 3 stalks taken from plants found in the waters of Lake Sui Mektia. Hollow on the inside. They should produce just the sound we need to bring this melody to life. Don't worry about the name. You'll know it when you see it. Oh, you've returned. I trust you have the stalks we need.
Yeah, I gathered some earlier from a previous mission.
They so do splendidly. There is not as stirring as the expertly crafted melody. Even the Ronkin showed obeisance to Uxorchal and the composing songs of worship, that the moon and sky might remain firmly in their place. Music honors the gods eternal, while also making timeless our most epic tales. And I dare say it's ever slightly more entertaining than a dry narrative. Wouldn't you agree? Perhaps soon we'll put the deeds of the Warrior of Darkness to song, so that none forget the turnings of fate that restored night to the world.
Yeah, you could. I certainly wouldn't complain.
I pray this evening finds you well, my good sir. I trust you're ready to continue efforts to invigorate our workforce. By using the sacred whistle, you're to guide the great serpent to my fellows and grace them with his mystical light. I shall be praying for your success, my most esteemed and gracious comrade.
Oh, sure. Lackadaisical Steward, have the blessing of what is.
Blessings of the great serpent himself, eh? Can't say I've done much to deserve it, but I'll take it all the same. Praise be.
Sure. Makes me wonder if this is some kind of primal. We'll get this last one blessed, and then we'll head on to our duty.
Good heavens above, I've never felt so alive.
Alright, off we go. Door duty. Well, I need to actually change the scholar so I can do the duty. Alright, let's do our duty. Time for a full party.
So this all took place 100 years ago. But what does it have to do with Gaia?
She was the Shadow Keeper. When we enter here, the Shadow Keeper. Jeez Louise, look at that thing. Surely she wasn't the elf who gave herself for that other thing. Shadow Keeper. There is no escape. Backward and poison. Backward and poison has the back. Technical prepares to reveal its true form. Fallen Shadow. Shadow Ray and Wraith. Stops at every turn. Prepares to reveal its true form. There's the reveal its true form. Prepare to reveal its true form. Got him. That may really saved our butt. We received a commendation for no good reason. These people are so generous. Patrons returned Gaia to us, but I have a feeling this isn't over yet. Okay, we can maybe do one more of these and then we're done. Warriors of Light, the Shadow Keepers. I've seen all of this before. Yes, you and I joined our power as one to create the Shadow Keeper. We bore witness to its battle with the Warriors of Light. Our power. So I was there and I wasn't alone. No, Guy, it's not true. It can't be. How could you have been there 100 years ago? Look deep inside. You know it was real. Cast aside these worthless memories and embrace who you truly are. Worthless. Now I see. That's why you've been tampering with my memories ever since I was a child. Just so. And now I possess the means to purge them entirely. Your rebirth will finally be complete. You have no right to deny me a life. To rob me of that which I hold most precious. My memories may seem worthless to you, but they aren't to me.
I will never be yours. My place is here and in this world, in this life, in this moment. Wherever my friends are, that is where I belong. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Then you would turn your back on our glorious past? On the lives we once lived? Any past I may have shared with you is long gone. I live in the here and now, striving to build a better future, and I'll be damned if I let you take that away from me. Oh, to be reunited at long last, only to be shunned. Oh, that I had died with you to be reborn. Even without knowledge of your past, we may yet forge a future together. I am sick of your riddles. Speak plainly or not at all. You and I fought the wars of light as one, joined in both body and soul. When Ardbert struck his final blow, the light tore through the bonds which held us. Though you perished, I was condemned to a fate far worse. My flesh became my prison, and I was cursed to remain here in abomination, while you lived on with others at your side. I will suffer it no more. You belong to me. I too was once held against my will, robbed of my freedom. To be trapped and alone for 100 years, I can't begin to imagine the pain you must have felt. But that doesn't give you the right to deny Gaia a chance at happiness. We once knew happiness, true happiness, until fate conspired to tear us apart. I will never let that happen again. We shall be joined as one, my memories and yours, together for all of eternity. The darkness, it's rising within me. That mark. What is this? Why am I... Hold on, Gaia. Whatever it is, you mustn't give in. Who are you? Yes. Now nothing will keep you from me. I am yours, and you are mine. Seems like a problem. We are one. We remember. Ascian Prime. So it's true, Gaia really is a reincarnated Ascian. The girl you once knew is no more. The Ascian who held the seat of Logrif is all that remains. Gaia is her true name. Oh, my head. Oh, Logrif. How long it has been. How long since I dreamed of this day.
Is it you, Mitron? Forgive me, I did not recognize you. In my defense, my memories have only recently been restored. My mind is still a little hazy. Hardly surprising. No matter how many times we are reborn, it is disorienting to have everything change around you. Even so, I immediately recognized your resplendent soul, and I cling to the hope that one day you will likewise remember mine. You always were a forgetful one. I could never forget you, try as I might. But tell me, what do you know of my past? I admit my memory may need some refreshing. We served together as members of the Convocation of 14, dedicated to the summoning of Lord Zodiark. Although the task assigned to you will eventually fell to Eldibus. Yes, I remember. Amidst the chaos and despair, you never left my side. My loyal protector. But in the end, it was all in vain. I was powerless to prevent Hydaelyn from tearing our world asunder. So I heard from him at Selk. We labor to make our world whole again. That's why he restored our memories, so that we can play our part. Our part. Alone we struggle, but by joining our power, your power with mine, we may yet succeed. My power. You always were one for flattery. Oh, I assure you I am quite sincere. It would be my honor to serve the cause alongside you, and I shan't take no for an answer. The honor's mine, for as much as I chide and tease you, you're everything to me. My inspiration. When I am with you, I fear nothing. Promise me that we'll never be parted again. I promise. Even should fate conspire to separate us, I will reach out to you wherever you may be. And I will come running. Well, man, that's really unfortunate. We were destined to find each other, to awaken our buried past and be born anew. Though our brethren employ crystals to return sundered souls to their office, without them such a feat is beyond my reach. But by becoming one in mind and body, my memories are yours. And at last, you have awoken. Now the time to come to restore our world to the utopia it once was. Let Gaia go. You are not worthy to even speak that name. And you must call her anything. Use the name chosen by her parents, if you even know what that is. No. To me, her name is Gaia. And nothing you say about her makes any difference to me. I don't care if she's an Ascian. She's my friend. Was your friend. Never again will she answer to your cries. You won't give up on her. Your wicked schemes have gone far enough. We're taking Gaia back. Accursed servants of light, you will not tear us apart again. What is this? Visions in my mind? A summoning. What are you doing to her? All your hopes and fears turned against you. There is no escape from your past. No, my memories are being used to fuel the summoning. This is how it feels to have a fairy inside my mind. I think Gaia had to endure it for so long. You're right. However bad this is, it's nothing compared to what she's going through right now. But if the summoning really is based on my hopes and fears, it will most likely create a foe unlike any you've ever fought before. Whatever it may be, I believe in you. We'll find a way through this, I know it. Sure. We got this. Eden's Promise. Anamorphosis, now available. Yeah, I don't have time. We'll have to get this next time around. So we'll start with Anamorphosis tomorrow. I got 6 minutes. Let's see if there's a fate I can do, and if not, we'll go ahead and call it a day. I don't know. We'll get the rest of that stuff in the Greatwood, and then we'll call it a day. All right. To the Greatwood. To Fannel we go. May have time to hear one last refrain of Lahi before I head off. Whew. Be pretty close to being done with this stuff altogether. Lahi.
You have what I need to try my hand at making explosives.
Sure, I got some mugwort for you.
Ah, yes. This is just what I was looking for. Probably. Once it's been combined with grasses and saltpeter and charcoal and sulfur and just a tiny splash of urine. Not mine, I might add. We should be ready to blast through that rubble. To be quite frank, I'm not much experienced in this sort of thing, but it seems like it can't possibly eventually perfect it through trial and error. After all, what is the worst that could happen? I trust all went according to my, if I might say, brilliant plan. Seems words of your experts have spread quickly, and other workers are all doing their utmost to unearth more relics. As for the questions surrounding our divine benefactor and the reasons for its involvement, the great serpent moves in mysterious ways. Sometimes it'll wiggle, and other times it'll bob up and down without a mighty screech. Yes, we are truly blessed. Oh, Peter, on behalf of all the stewards, I thank you for your tireless efforts. You have our sincere gratitude. Indeed, we Guittari must bear the responsibility of having spread the pox to these parts of the forest. Finally, we have brought this painful chapter of our history to a close. We could not have done so without your invaluable aid. At first I feared we might damage our relations with the Knights Blessed and the Bees beyond repair. Instead, we've managed to overcome the plague together, and in doing so, the time-tested bonds between our peoples are stronger than ever before. I travel to Slitherbow and Fano all the time to share tidings of the forest with my newfound friends. And with the guidance of the Great Serpent, we've reclaimed long-lost knowledge, not just of our own kind, but of the great Ronka itself. In studying the restored stela, I have had occasion to reflect and ruminate on the history of the Empire. It truly was a great civilization, controlling and exerting influence over all of the ancient Novrat. The Ronkans ruled the land with an iron fist, and thought little of subjugating other peoples through force. And yet, by uniting myriad races under their banner, the Empire did much to ensure peace and prosperity for its citizens. Yet as Ronka continued to grow, there emerged more and more of those who grew dissatisfied with life under the rule of the throne. No doubt, that was eventually what brought about its downfall. After all, even the greatest power will not last forever, even as the mightiest tree may one day fall. Compared to the long and storied history of Ronka, my own 3 years seems as insignificant as a drop of water in a great gushing river. I understand the sentiment, my boy, but it is not so. Although the lifespan of any one Qitari may be short, we must never underestimate the value of our shared knowledge and wisdom, accumulated through many experiences and recorded for the sake of posterity. And yet, as our forefathers did their part to share the course of Ronkan history, so too will the discoveries you made serve to forge the future of our people and the great wood itself. Yeah. We must not forget our allies and our friends, without whose aid we may not have survived to see this day. Might I trust you to convey our gratitude to them on our behalf, Qitari? But of course, Father. Consider our glad no gratitude conveyed. Oh, ever learning, I see. Pieter, might I trust you to escort my son to Fano? I would not be able to forgive myself if anything unfortunate happened to him on this day of triumph. Come, Pieter. Master Linnell will be overjoyed to see us, I am sure.
Of course. It pleases me to hear that all is well in the stubble. We are honored to have done our small part in the service of our Qitari friends. Never did I think I would live to see this age-old alliance of Ronka rekindled.
For us as well, Master Linnell. From ancient rituals to the remedies that eased our pain in trying times, there's so much wisdom we learned from you. I am certain this is only the start of a long and fruitful friendship.
You are wise beyond your years, my young friend, and there is much that you and your people have already taught us. I promise that you will continue to share with us your gleanings from history, that we might put them to use ourselves in protecting and preserving our forest home.
It would be an honor.
All's well that ends well, yes? And now I do believe the time has finally come that I stop tarrying and take to the road.
Are you going somewhere, my good Madame Fina?
I will depart on a journey that has been far too long in the making. I intend to travel beyond the Great Wood's reaches in search of Vias who live scattered throughout the land, that they might join us here in Retika to together preserve and pass down the wisdom of Ronka. Fano has always been my home, and it will not be easy for me to leave it behind. And yet I will leave with the knowledge that the forest is in good hands. Promise me you will not let Fiona get into too much trouble, yes? I dare say you're the one who needs looking after, sister. Perhaps I should accompany you. Oh, rest assured, I'm more than capable of taking care of myself. Forgive me if I refrain from stepping in the midst of a sibling squabble. Go in safety, Fiona, and know the azure blooms will always guide you home. Thank you, Master Rindell. I will return. And with that, I'd best be off, before I find another reason to delay my journey any longer. And young Qitari, Pieter, promise me you will all be well. Of course.
Here now. And you too as well, Kiona. No matter how far my journey may carry me, know that a part of me will always be here with you. And I too with you, sister. See ya. Huzzah! Saying goodbyes is not easy, is it? It is time we return to the road again ourselves. We must pay our respects to Valen and Greenford after all. Very well. I'll not keep you any longer. Do pass along our respects to our friends in Slitherbowl. I was not certain what to think of that Greenford at first, but he proved to be a loyal friend. But of course, should you ever have the time, do come visit Father and I. Nothing would make me happier than to be able to show you around the Stopple. Huzzah! See ya. Let's just fast travel to Slitherbowl. There's no need to do this the long way. To find them first. Over here, right? Yeah, there they are. Hey, Valen. Hello there, great serpent. Master Valen, are you certain you should be up and about like this? Have no worries, my little friend. I'm feeling like my old self again. I hear that all is well in the Stopple, too. That's truly a great relief. I shudder to think what would have happened to all of us here in the Greatwood if you hadn't made your discovery. Truly, we owe you a debt of gratitude to your ancestors and their wisdom. And truly, we all owe a debt to the great serpent of Ronka, by whose divine auspices young Chertarl was led to the stela on which the cure was inscribed. Yes, praise be to the serpent. Praise be. You think you could keep your voice down a bit? Some of us are still recuperating from life-threatening plague, you know. Ha 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 ha. Well, speaking of which, Carl, whatever made you think that little fellow was a great serpent in the first place? When Kinford started rambling on to that end, I thought he'd finally lost the last of his wits. An excellent question, Valen, and one I've been giving some thought to myself. Father has always told me tales of how the Ronkins worshipped a great serpent as their guardian and protector, but there are no clear records of its physical appearance. On the night that darkness returned to the skies, the small creature we now know well arrived before us wearing that curious hat. Intrigued, I followed after it. It led me through the ravel, where I saw that the passage to our ancestral homeland was at long last opened once more. Jumping for joy, I picked the small creature up and ran home to share the news with Father. With a tear in his eye, he gazed at me deeply and spoke these words. The great serpent itself has arisen to guide us home. On that moment, I knew it must be so. A moment of design inspiration, no doubt, and not altogether unlike my own. Yes, this is most fascinating indeed. In my own case, the great serpent would appear before me in my visions for as long as I can remember. Time and again it shared with me the words of wisdom that I have so dutifully recorded in the Gospel of Gwynford. One day it called out to me with a terrifying scree, warning of a great calamity that was befall the great wood if I did not rise to action. It was shortly after that we came upon this tiny creature in the forest, and I recognized it immediately as the incarnation of our divine protector. It is clear to me now that all was leading up to this day, its first appearance in my visions, our meeting, all that has been part of the great serpent's grand design to restore peace, harmony, and prosperity to the forest. Truly, we would never have been able to rediscover our history, nor overcome the spread of the plague, were it not for the serpent's guidance and wisdom.
Clearly, your forefathers revered the great serpent as well. Why else would they have engraved it atop their final stela, buried deepest and furthest from the Sin Eater's reach? Now this immaculately preserved stela stands before us as incontrovertible proof that this tiny creature is indeed that which we all instinctively perceived it to be, the manifestation of Ronka's divine protector, who hath once more in our time of need to guide our people through times and into a new generation of peace and prosperity.
Scream!
Last time after his work was done, the great serpent left us, going off to some place where only the gods dared to tread.
Actually, it's just been following Peter around his adventures, you know.
What nonsense is this, Valen? Clearly the great serpent has been watching over us this entire time. In any event, it is clear that we owe the serpent a great debt of gratitude. It would be remiss for us not to make a pilgrimage to a site where we might properly pay obeisance.
I would like nothing more than to play observance, Master Quinford, but there's no telling where the serpent has gone. Where might we go that I might hear our words?
Fear not, our young guitar friend. I know just the place. The ancestral slumbering place for the great serpent, the mighty crystal that has appeared before me time and again in our visions. I speak of none other than the fruit of the protector, cradled amidst the waters of Lake Mekthekte. Valen and I shall make the trek here night after day to express our gratitude to the great serpent for deigning to share its divine guidance with us.
Don't look at me like that, Peter. I don't go every time. What I did was just to keep Quinford here out of trouble. And how should we go about expressing our gratitude to the great serpent?
An astute question, my young friend. If you wish, I would be happy to share with you some choice passages from the Gospel of Quinford that would be most suitable to the occasion. For example, here's chapter 15, verse 5, which begins as follows. O hearken unto the heavenly scree.
Never mind Quinford's rambling. I'm sure the serpent would appreciate it all the more if you just thanked it of your own words. And so would the rest of us. Trust me. Oh, thank you, Valen. Can you believe I shall do just that?
Just a little yelp the dog gives out. And we're up to Lahi. Oh, we are 10 minutes over on time and still going.
Well, here I am. What words can truly convey my feelings to the great serpent?
You could just say thank you, you know.
Perhaps I should just keep it simple. Yes. Oh, great serpent, thank you ever so much for watching over us. You have my most sincere gratitude. It was by your guidance that my people have reclaimed our history, and that I have so many new friends and allies. And I promise we'll never forget you, and to pass down tales of you for generations and generations to come. What's happening? Do you think the serpent heard my words?
Oh, yeah, sure did.
Scree, scree.
the crystal of the great serpent.
When the crystal glimmered and glowed, I almost felt like it was speaking to me. Do you believe this means the serpent heard my words? At the very least, I take heart in knowing I have conveyed my thanks to the serpent, and to all of our new friends throughout the forest. And with this, I can return to Father in the stable, with my head held high.
Well, that's good. Back the funnel and return to the stable and buy whatever we can, and then we'll be done. Holding around 15 minutes left. Or no, 15 minutes over on time. Wish I'd stop doing that. Yeah, unspelled vegetation, I need to be done with my stream, so we're getting this done as soon as I can.
I cannot thank you enough for accompanying my son throughout the forest. To the end, you have gone above and beyond on our behalf. It is a debt of gratitude the Qatari will not soon forget. In reclaiming our heritage and history, we've also rekindled time-honored bonds of friendship with our fellow residents of Raktika. The Knights Blessed, the V's, the Great Serpent, and not of least of all, Piotr, the ally of Ronka. All have played a part in events that will be etched in the annals of history. Yes, the stewards will see to it that these events are handed down to our children, and our children's children, and so on until long after we ourselves are gone. We have our word. In the meantime, we shall continue our excavation of the tunnels beneath Stapo. I've even considered commissioning the creation of a new stela, on which we have gleaned in recent days may be recorded for posterity. Father and I will not have seen eye to eye in pertinations of history, but I can assure you that we are of a like mind regarding the future that we will forge for our people. No, how you have grown, Charles. It nigh brings a tear to my eye. Thank you for everything, Piotr. I know that there are many places you must journey, but know that you will always have a home here in the Stapo. Is that not so, O Great Serpent?
Sure. Scree indeed. Travel quest complete. Reputation up. Reputation is increased to Bloodsworn. To achieve Bloodsworn reputation with the stewards, you'll receive experience point based upon completion of the Qatari tribal daily quests. Alright, what else can we buy? The Beheaded Serpent of Ronka. Qatari Framer's Kit. Alright. Minor. Just a normal worm makes more sense, methinks. And if oldie is better, methinks. And the mistle. And the brickman. To be automaton. Tours of Ronka, huh? That works. Okay. think that'll be it for now. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a wonderful day. Just head back to the crystal and then leave from there.